Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. So today we are going to work on a new journal that I have in progress here, as you can see. And the reason I have a lot of it done is because I've been working on it while cutting stuff on the Glowforge. And as you know, I can't have the Glowforge on and do videos. Plus, I had to kind of wrap my head around this. This is a new thing. I know people have been doing things like this. Like I saw Carol Laws, who got the idea from somebody else. But anyway, essentially like an envelope, thin size journal. And I'm not sure exactly how they did it. I did watch Carol do hers, but it's been a bit, so I could be doing it like her, or I don't know. Anyhow, I have taken images or pages from my digital Mushroom Christmas and just been doing some folding and things like that to come up with this. So what I have, and I'm going to show you how I did the pages for it so far, but first we're just going to kind of flip through what I have. So I have this page with the envelope that flips out, and you can see that you can't see the hinge, right? So that's because I put it between these two pages. This is one page from the digital, and this is another, so it's two separate pages that I glued together. And so I just went ahead and glued a hinge inside for this particular envelope. You can see I haven't decorated the envelope yet, but anyhow. And then I have my little paper clip that I made the other day. And then this opens out, and this is the other side of this. So, and you can see here there is a hinge because I am using hinges to hold this together, and you can see that a little bit better when you look from the side right here. Okay. So, and then this page is hinged here. And it's just a whole sheet of paper folded. And I forgot to measure, because I've just been kind of winging it. You know, I don't do a lot of measuring. But anyway, this is like 2 3/4 fold. This one's a little bit less because, as you know, if you coffee dye, it's close to 2 3/4. But anyway, the paper or any kind of dye, it kind of shrinks. And I got these from Karen, and I'm not sure exactly how she dyed these. I don't know if they're writ dye or if they're food coloring or what, but great color she got on that, and it's perfect. So that page, and then you can see this is a big hinge, and this is another page, and it folds out like, see, that's a whole page, 8.5 by 11 size piece of paper. And then when you come over here, there's a pocket right here. You can put stuff in, or, you know, a tag in. And then I've put a pocket. This is an image from the digital, and I've added my little tag that folds out that we made a while back. And then I've just put this green guest check in here, which I'll probably do something to. I'm just kind of putting things where I might want them so that I remember and don't forget to put things in here. And then I've just added a piece of ledger paper to this coffee dyed paper because I hinged on this envelope. So under this piece of green paper, there's a little flap from the envelope. And then I did end up decorating that one, and it's a pocket up here. So that opens like that. This opens like this, whole piece of paper again. So that's what we have so far, and you can see it's all done with hinges. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the cover. I have some fabric coming, but it still hasn't gotten here, and so if it ever gets here, I might actually be able to do something with it. But I'm not even sure how I'm going to attach it into the journal. What I'm thinking is of this is probably going to sound insane, but doing a 3 pamphlet stitch in each little section to a piece of fabric that will then be attached to the cover is kind of what I'm thinking. So I don't know yet exactly. And I may, you know, put something else on the top of this. I don't know. But right now I'm going to show you kind of how I do the pages so that it'll make a little bit of sense to you. So the first thing I do, and it's probably crazy, I could do the 2 pages together, but it just works better for me to do it this way. So I'm going to take and fold this, I'm trying to think which side's better, maybe this side, for that like 2 3/4 fold, roughly. And like I said, I've just kind of been, you know, sort of eyeballing it, and I hold it up to another one to see if, you know, they're similar in size. But you can totally measure and do all kinds of things, you know, so you know that it's the size that you want it. I tend to do okay with eyeballing, so it's all personal preference. You can totally measure exactly how you want it. You might want yours different than mine, like a different amount of a fold or whatever. So yeah, just you do you, right? That's always the best idea. That one's, yeah, pretty close. It's a little off, but it'll be all right. And then what I do is take this side and come all the way to the edge there. Okay. And then I take the next one and I do the same thing. And I know it'd probably be better to fold them both, but for some reason the folds don't come out quite right when I do it that way. So I'm going to go like this. And I'm just going to get an idea again of what size I want it. You could score and be much more precise that way, and then that you could score it exactly the same every time, so that you know it's going to be right. But I'm awful and don't ever do stuff like that. No, I should. See, because now I messed that one up a little bit. So my son is on his way back from his university. Because if you don't know, oh, you know, I forgot to say, hi, how are you guys doing? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. How are you all? I hope you're all fabulous. I hope you have far less drama in your life than I do. I mean, I don't have any compared to a lot of people and the horrible, horrible things that people are going through right now. And my heart just completely breaks for the parents of all these kids that have recently been killed. It's really insane. And the whole thing up at my son's college is even more insane than that. So he goes to University of Idaho up in Moscow, Idaho. And as you all know, if you've heard on the news, well, you probably haven't, maybe, because for some reason the information is very hush-hush, which I understand. They're trying to do an investigation, and I get it, but it's been very concerning as a parent because 4 college students were stabbed to death up there, and they really have no answers at all. And I get it. It's hard. It's the middle of an investigation. They don't know all that, but they just keep saying it was a one-off, like it was only ever, you know, it's not going to happen again. The community doesn't need to worry. The university kids don't need to worry, all that kind of thing. But I don't know how they can say that when they don't seem to really know what happened. There's no perpetrator in custody. They don't have the murder weapon. So I'm struggling with the, you know, don't worry about your kids, just let them keep coming to school here. Because it's terrifying, you know, that's terrifying. It could be a one thing, and yeah, I mean, it's the not knowing. So they kind of have canceled, well, I mean, I guess they're sort of having classes, but so many students have left because their parents want them to come home that Theron decided he's going to come home because there's no point in really being there. They can do their classes remotely, so that's kind of what they're going to do this week, and then they have next week off, luckily, for Thanksgiving. And then I have no idea what's going to go on. I'm hoping by then, obviously, please, they have caught the person who did this. And, you know, we can all go on as best as possible. Like I said, my heart just completely breaks for those families. I mean, there just aren't any words even. I cannot even express how devastating that must be. And so, yeah, I don't even know what to say about that other than I'm so incredibly sorry. But yeah, I just feel like they don't really have any answers for us. And it's really hard to just keep sending your kid to school every day and home, not even here home every day up there and hoping they make it through the night. It's awful. It's an awful feeling. And I'm not saying it's the police's fault or university's fault. I'm not saying that at all. It's just terrifying. So, anyways, he's coming back. So he's on his way back from there. And I just pray for those families and the ones in Virginia as well. That's not a better situation. It's just a different situation. Okay, so you saw me do that. I glued in the pocket. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Glued in the pocket, and now I'm just gluing these closed. Now, if you wanted to, I don't know what I'm going to do with this one exactly, but when I do have the forethought to think of what I want to do, like if I wanted to put another hinge in here for a flap or whatever, I could do that now. But for videoing purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and glue these together. And I have found that it works best even if you decide to just glue the 2 pages together, to do it in sections. Like, you know, you saw me glue this part together and then go to the next section or whatever. Just especially when you're first putting it on, so you can get this straight. And then it seems to go together pretty easy. But anyway, I really like the feel of these multiple pages together. And if you don't want multiple pages, you can do this by just like photocopying on the back of your pages. And that's normally what I do. But I wanted to do some pockets and things in them, so that's why I'm doing it this way. But of course, you do not have to. You can just do one solid sheet of paper and then put whatever you like on it, design-wise. Or if you're using like scrapbook paper that is double-sided, I would go with a lighter weight. I wouldn't go with too heavy of a weight. I mean, this is obviously heavier. And I have been kind of inking just in case there's a few little spots where you can see an edge, or, you know, that little thumb divot or whatever. And then I usually kind of let them set for a minute. And, you know, so when I fold it, hopefully I don't get any weird folds. And really, I just did them so they're held together. I didn't, you know, put glue on every inch of those inside pages, but I think it's fine. I haven't had any trouble with the ones that I've done so far. So, and when I figure out more as far as the cover, I will let you guys know. This is all trial for me because I've never done one like this. And like I said, I know lots of people are doing journals like this, so this is not my idea. I mean, maybe the way I'm doing it is kind of my idea, but as far as, you know, the thin journal and the envelopes and all that, it's not my idea. Okay. Blah, blah, Amy. So now we're going to need a hinge. And the way I've been hinging them, as you can see, is this is the single side with no folds, folded up, and here's the little flap, our little flaps over on this side. On this one, or no, it is on this side, sorry, lied. So it'll be like this one, and then right at the back is where I hinge them. So the fold here on the back is where it will get hinged, or I might go this way, I don't know yet, but it needs to get all the way dry before I can mess with that. So what we need is a hinge. So let's see, what are we going to use for this one? Just a piece of that, maybe. Or another piece of coffee dyed. I don't have a good match. This isn't my coffee dye. This is from my friend Melody. And she is Willoughby House on Etsy. See, hers is so much better than mine. Look at the difference. I don't know. I'm not real great at that. I don't consider that my strong suit at all. So I just try to get some color on some white paper. Do I want to do this? This might be kind of cool. This is for my black and white digi. Just something different. The yellow looks nice with that. Okay, so I'm going to tear off the edge first because I like the edges torn. And we're going roughly about 3/4 of an inch is kind of what I just ripped that all crooked. 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to rip it again because I do need pretty much the whole length. Okay, so I just kind of, this ruler has basically the amount I need. And it's roughly 3/4, so. And then fold it in half. That's all the hinges are, is a piece of paper about 3/4 of an inch, folded in half, if you can. And here again, you can score to make it easier. So yeah, Moscow, Idaho is super tiny town. It's really a college town. Like, that's it. And so I thought, oh, that's a good place to go away to school. Nice and quiet little town. He can drive around there easy. You know, he's away, so he feels good. You know, like he's on his own, and that's good. And yeah, never did I dream in a million years. So I so wish they would get answers. I mean, obviously for all the kids that are still going there, so they're not scared. But the parents, I mean, my goodness. And I know it hasn't been that long. I understand these things don't just appear overnight or whatever, but it just seems like it's just a whole lot of not anything. It's not even just that they haven't caught the person. It's just, I feel like we haven't really gotten hardly any information at all. Like it was going around on social media that it was a shooting, and it wasn't a shooting. And all of that jazz. So, yeah. Okay, so this should be dry enough to fold. I'm getting kind of we're going to go this way. Go this way to get the fold, just because it's kind of wanting to pucker a little bit. So you kind of just got to play with it and get your creases good and in there. And this one, it's not going to go that way either. It wants to fold this way for this time, and then I can go back the other way. It's just kind of a matter of, you almost have to train the paper in a way. It's sort of crazy. It may still get messed up, but we'll see. That worked. I want to see the pretty stuff on the outside, I think. Not that the snowflakes aren't pretty, but... And I like doing this too because I still get to keep the whole sheet of paper, you know, which I like. So then see this back fold is going to go on this piece of paper's back fold. And then you just keep hinging as many as you want, you know. And I do one side at a time because I forgot to ink this part. Obviously trying to get them both glued down at the same time is a recipe for disaster. It's already kind of tricky, honestly, especially when you start getting some lift on that. It's easy the first one or two, but the higher the lift gets, the harder it is to do it. So I think I might go ahead and do this one first. I just wanted you guys to see how I'm putting it together so that you're not like totally confused, because it is kind of, I get a little overwhelmed sometimes when I watch. That's why I didn't like do it the same way as everybody else was doing these, because I would watch those videos and just feel like I have no idea what's going on. No offense to anybody. It's just some of those were really tricky with the folds and the this and the that. And so I thought I'm going to do a simple version because that was wow for me. And I feel like you could add all kinds of, you know, cool flippy folds or whatever you want. And it could be very complicated, or you can just keep it real simple. Totally personal preference on that. I keep pushing too hard with that and then I ding it. Okay, so we'll get the other side. Really want to get the edge the best. Okay, this is going to be tricky here. I'm going to kind of fold it back a little bit, I think, so I can see. Hope you guys can see. I'm just trying to line it up, really, is what I'm trying to do. And like I talked about, coffee dyed paper shrinks, so this coffee dyed paper is not as tall as this other paper, so that makes it tricky too. And I gotta flip it over and make sure I'm not going too far. Didn't really get that very even. And then what I've been doing is just kind of trimming that extra off of the coffee dyed paper because it's not as long. I mean, you could just leave it. It's not that big of a deal, but I think it's crazy how it shrinks a little bit. It's like surgery. This one's a little long too, I think. Barely, but it is. Okay, so now we have that one attached. So flipping through, then you'll come here and I'll have another little pocket in there. I mean, you could make this side the pocket instead if you wanted a bigger pocket. I just kind of was doing the little pockets, but there's like 1,000,001 things you could do. And you're gonna see they aren't always perfectly even. Like, well, and part of that's probably my folding, but I'm not that worried about it, as I don't think it's that drastic. So yeah, this is how I did this one, and I hope you guys like it. I think it's fun. So now we need to work on some ephemera, and I thought maybe I'll go ahead and decorate that. Where is it? This one. That guest check. I don't know what I want to do, but we'll figure out something here. Maybe. Got all kinds of junk over here, so this is my little bowl of the mushroom stuff and other stuff. I've realized after I made this little bag that it's too wide for the pages of the journal, so I'll probably just put some stuff in it and add it to you know, whoever gets this journal, it'll just have some extra little bits in it and it'll go with. So it can be used however somebody wants it to. What do I want to put on there? These little pine cones are kind of cute. I just stamped some pine cones on a piece of really grungy coffee dye paper, but that's kind of fun. And I could still have maybe some book page. And then we need to get down to the bottom where all the goodies are. Mushrooms. I need some kind of bigger ones. This one's bigger. That would work. I'm just pulling stuff out of here. What do we got? What do we got? December. I do like, oh, I could do the one with the gnome, huh? He's pretty cute, and it's tall, so that's kind of a good spot for it, right? Maybe we could move our December down here. Because I might not find another spot for him because it's so tall. So I like that idea. Could put another mushroom with him. I do like the birdie, but his tail hangs off. I don't want to chop off his tail. Okay, I think I like that in some version. That was fast. And this needs to be a little more torn. It's more cut. And that's just that Stampin' Up! Stamp I have that I used when we did the 50 stack challenge. And I don't know that those are available anymore. I have no idea because that is like a 2000 set. So I'm sorry. Oh, this has that on it. I was like, why is there red peeking through? It's just some that I stamped, but you can't see it if I do that. So let's get a different book page. It said Christmas presents. I didn't realize it until after I ripped it. Oh, that's funny. I'm gonna have to tear it some more. Since I already ripped it, I guess it doesn't matter. Because I'm not gonna say that anymore. Move this stuff out of the way again, so we're not so cluttery. This is the way I feel about Christmas. I feel like that's what it's like. I'm kind of a bah humbug, right? It's overwhelming, that's all. I just get so overwhelmed so easy. And it's freezing cold here. That's why I've got these on, because my arthritis is killing me, because it's just, oh my goodness, 19 degrees when I got up this morning. It's going to be 16 on Friday. Got my heater going in here. It's just seriously burr here right now. Which is very odd, because it's usually in the 50s this time of year here. It's like I need to ease into it, not just dive headlong. But I didn't get a choice. Okay, so let's get those glued down at least. We can figure that all out. I don't know if I'm going to use that yet, so I'm going to wait, but we'll get this down because we are going to use that. Stuff everywhere. It's the thing when I get working, it just gets crazy in here. So yeah, don't forget about your stamps, especially if you got some like Christmas boughs or like, you know, pine cones, whatever, holly berries, all that, because you can just do some cool little bits to add on. And I forget too. I forget to use my stamps all the time. A lot of people said that when we did that as the for the 50 sec challenge. A lot of people said when we did the rubber stamp one, they have lots of stamps they got to go through and they forget to use them. It's like, yeah, you and me both. That's kind of why I wanted to do something like that, because hopefully it gets, you know, gets you using more of the stuff that you already have, which we probably all have a lot. If you've done this stuff for a while. If you haven't, then you probably don't have a lot, but I've been paper crafting for probably 25 years. So I've got a lot of junk. Move that out a little bit further. I got some book page stuck on my mushroom. That old book page, it gets any glue on it and it's just like attached. These are just, because I always get asked, they're like little glue erasers, but the glue has to kind of be wet still for it to work. It won't work on dry glue, but it does help take off some of the little, like these little schmutzy black bits from the ink on your fingers and the ink from the mushroom and, you know, all that stuff. Do I want this here? Feels like it covers the bottom. Could go there. Could still put December kind of up here. Like, I don't want to cover every bit of everything. Do I want some of these? So these I just did with acrylic paint, and they're literally just like a brush stroke, and dots. And then if you saw the ones that I did for the gingerbread mushroom thing, I just went around them, like around the leaves, real simply with a white gel pen. And then around the berries and put a little dot on them, and that's literally it, like that. So this, even if you don't have stamps, this is literally just brush stroke, dot, dot, dot. And you can see they're not perfect and they're kind of wonky and all over the place, but it's okay. They don't have to be perfect. They're just meant for some cute little decorations. And you can see that's goofy because I tried something there and I don't know what I was doing there. But it doesn't matter. And then just cut them out. It's sort of like that, you know, making collage fodder. Just making some bits that look, it gives it that homemade look, you know, because you can tell they're obviously not machine generated or anything like that. Sorry, I'm kind of slow on the cutting today. That's what happens when my hands start to hurt. Everything turns to concrete. to make some more of these because I do like them. They're just fun. I don't even know what they're supposed to be because they're not holly, but it's just the green and the red, right? It just makes it seem Christmassy. And I like it. All right. Right here, maybe? I feel like I'm just covering up all those numbers though, and I kind of like this, so I'm going to cover up those numbers instead. And I'm going to ink these just a little bit. I usually just wear these gloves at night, but I was like, I'm gonna wear them a little today and see if that helps. These are the little snowflakes that are in my Etsy. If you have a punch, you can do that. Oopsie. And I might go ahead and put some little spatters on there. But first, I'm gonna cut my corners, maybe. Hold on just a second. Trying to find my, I keep moving everything around because I use these when I'm using the Glowforge. To add little tags or whatnot to the bags that, you know, people purchase. Just a little gift. And I don't want to cover up all that green. That's why I didn't do a whole lot of anything else on that. I think I'm going to use paint. This is just watered down acrylic white paint. Need that. You can tell this wasn't planned, right? So I hope you guys like that journal, and hopefully I'll get it like completely figured out so that I know how I'm gonna do it. And the problem is I don't really want to get any on the red. You know what? I'm gonna cover more than that. Because I don't want it to turn pink like I've shown you guys. I don't like that. And it does that real bad if it hits this red color. Just gonna wet this brush. Sorry, I keep banging everything because I keep changing my mind about what I'm doing here. Trying to do this without getting out a ton of stuff, and yet, oh, that's red, Amy. Just try to get it sort of where there isn't as much red. Yeah, I find that very frustrating when it does that. At least I remembered a little bit better. All right, so there's that. So once it dries, I'll be able to put it in my journal, which is here. And we added our page back here. Not that I've done anything for it, but there it is. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that that was okay for understanding. And if you have questions, just, you know, put it in the comments below. I always check my comments and try to, you know, answer pretty promptly. So, yeah, but it's just hinges. That's all. And you can hinge them together however you want to hinge them together with whatever you want. Envelopes or other junk mail or however. So anyways, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and we will chat again soon. Love you guys. Bye.